Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and this is kind of an unusual tool. This is the Crescent 2-in-1 combo plier. It's both a kind of a multi-plier slash lineman and a wire stripper that, as you can see, goes from about 10 to 20, or as you see on this side, 2.6 to 0.8. Now the question is, why would you want something like this? Well, before I start, I have a correction. I did a video about Pittsburgh and Snap-on in terms of kind of the trim tools, and I mentioned, why would you buy something that costs so much more when the tool will never wear out? And a lot of you actually wrote in saying either you had great luck with Pittsburgh or inexpensive ones, or the Snap-on was worth it because if you really take it serious, you're going to see why. Well, anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. I hadn't had trouble with this, but I don't, basically it's changing out Subaru headlights and working on some dash stuff and occasionally some engine things. And I use both. It kind of depends on which tip I need. But anyway, what I did was I put these back to back in a vise and slowly bent them to see, is there really a difference? And look what happened. I put these like this into a vise, and then I started kind of prying a little bit, and this snapped so fast that I thought it popped out of the vise. And I went to adjust it again and looked, and then just stopped right away. So look at this. I mean, that was so fast. So I guess I stand corrected. At least in this case, this is, as many commenters suggested, a very fragile tool. And if you use it seriously, well, this is going to happen. There you go. So whatever. Done with that. Anyway, back to this guy. This is the 2-in-1 Crescent. And I started thinking, why would you want something like this? There are several reasons I could come up with, but first let's take a look at the performance. One thing I noticed is on the stripping side, it's actually fairly efficient, and it should be. This is one of the reasons that I got it, because this actually is a good tool. This is kind of a high leverage, kind of an extra leveraged side cutter here, and it just snips through. This is 12 gauge wire, just pops through it. Very little effort, as you can see. How long will it last? I don't know, but I'm not seeing any real wear. A little in the kind of the paint, I guess, that they cover that with, but overall I like this. Did a video about it. This is another one. Now it's kind of interesting as you look. The color difference is I can see it here. It might be hard to see in the camera, but it's not quite the same. But it actually, both are Chinese tools. This actually works as a great stripper. If I cut that, put it in the right side here, right here, in the 12, I can hear a nice click, and it slides right out. Listen to that. I'll do it again. Nice click, nice slide. And then I can, of course, cut this quite easily. No problem. On the other side is sort of this multi-plier, not quite a lineman. But I have not had great luck with this cutting jaw. In fact, this is what happens. Look at that. I've got it squished down. I can pry it off, but it's not popping off. And I don't know, if I do it way at the end, it might just be the insulation, but if I do it anywhere else, it isn't just, enough to maintain contact with it. You have to literally continue to work it before you can pop it off, and it gets worse as you move towards the end. You can see that right there, just barely. That isn't all that great. Here is the connection. That's not terribly unusual given you've got a set of knives. You have to keep, performance close. So I don't have any trouble there. I do have a little bit of trouble with the flex. If you open this, there is a ton of flex. As you can see that. It's almost like a stack of washers and a pivot here. And then this is the handle. These kind of stamped steel arms here. But there is a, do it this way, there's a lot of flex right there. Not a big deal when it's tight though. It seems to lock in pretty well. But I am getting a little bit of spacing here, and I've been playing with that by putting it into something tight where I can gain some leverage and then kind of twisting, and I can really see, you know, some flex start to happen here. And, you know, I can do all four directions with this apparatus. I can go this way, go this way, go this way, and go this way. And I see a little bit of flex there. I can also reverse that and grab it with these little teeth here to try to get an idea. And these just splay. Try it there almost instantly. Yeah, this is a lot of force, but it gives me an idea of how this compares to other connectors. You know, I've got a little, you know, or little tiny plier connectors here. I can grab this and twist, and I am not getting any flex there. So the question is, what do you get out of this? Well, one is it's a single tool for all the stripping, you know, features here and all of essentially the multi-plier stuff here. Why would you want one tool for that? So you could toss it when one side wears out, I don't know. But maybe small space. You know, would you want this on a motorcycle or overlanding, something like that? Or what about lightweight? In reality, what I'd suggest is a good set right here of a multi-plier or a lineman plier, if that's what you're after. And you can get a nice short one as you look at this. You know, something that's in a similar form factor, but much, much higher performance. Or, of course, you could get a stripper. Now, if you want to go cheap, yeah, there are a lot of cheaps. This was like that $3 Kathmandu plier that I got. It's about as functional, whoops, flip that around, as a multi-plier, maybe even a touch more. So it certainly cuts better and has these teeth here. And then you can pick up a Klein. If you look at this little Klein cutter here. This one I use for really fine wire. I have another one somewhere. This is 22 to 30, but you can also get like 10 to 20. But a little stripper for 10, 12 bucks. So it's possible to get a reasonably priced tool in both the stripper, wire stripper space and the multi-plier space that combine, that sell less than this, which this is on Amazon for between $25 and $30. Or you could get one plier, you know, that does both. I had higher hopes given the performance of this guy, but I can tell it is completely different. Anyway, if you've seen things like this, there are other versions of this, other brands. There are multi-heads like this for, say, snap rings, and then there are even multi-head pliers that look like this, but also have another plier set sticking off to the side. All kinds of choices. In reality, I'd probably hang away from this guy, stay away from it, unless you need whatever this has to offer, which is probably something I have missed, because in reality, I would much rather have, you know, something really dedicated to the job and not sort of this also ran flip plier. The other thing is this doesn't really, this locks it in a small blade opening. That can be handy with the strippers, because that's then all it does. But given you're throwing this maybe in a tool bag, tool kit, something like that, it would be nice if it locked up solid so there was no chance of getting any damage or, you know, catching anything in the cutting knives. Anyway, I'd be curious what you think. I'm always interested in new tool designs, and you know, Crescent is experimenting, so I don't want to, you know, be negative. But this one, I think either should be better, or you're better off with just the regular pliers and the regular stripper. Let me know what you think. And with that, Doc out.